Why do I need to achieve? When achievement becomes an identity instead of an expression. I am very ambitious. We say that quite proudly, don't we? I'm ambitious, I'm driven. I like being productive. I can't sit idle. I like being independent. I always wanted to do better. And maybe that's absolutely true. But sometimes ambition is carrying a much older belief underneath it. If I stop, I'll fall behind. If I'm not useful, I'm not important. If I need somebody, I am weak. If I'm not successful, people won't respect me. If something comes too easily, maybe I haven't earned it. And here's the interesting part. You may have consciously disagree with every single one of those statements and still live as though they are true. You believe rest is important, but when you finally get an afternoon free, you feel guilty doing nothing. You believe it's okay to ask for help, but when the moment you're struggling, it's fine, I'll manage. You'll believe success doesn't define your worth. Maybe it's what does the way I live reveal about what I believe. Welcome back to Becoming. I am Namrata Mane, and today I want to have a slight uncomfortable conversation with you. Why do I need to achieve, not what I want to achieve? That's easy. I want a better life. I want money. I want freedom. I want to grow. I want to experience what I'm capable of. Think about the last thing you desperately wanted: a qualification, a relationship, a business milestone, maybe even a certain number of followers. You probably told yourself, bus ye ho jaye, then I will relax. And then I'll feel secure. And then I'll know I've made it. And maybe you've got it all. It felt wonderful. And then what? What was once your dream becomes your baseline today. Very quickly, there was something else, another number, another target, another milestone. Bus ache or why? Maybe because sometimes we are not actually chasing achievement. We are chasing the emotion we've attached it to. Money becomes safety, recognition becomes visibility, productivity becomes worth, being needed becomes love, control becomes security. Independence becomes strength. So perhaps when you imagine most successful self, don't ask what she has or what he has. Ask how does he or she finally get to feel safe, respected, powerful, free, seen, enough? What is that? Because the answer may tell you more about your ambition than the goal itself. And this is where subconscious becomes fascinating. Your subconscious mind doesn't necessarily care what intellectually you know. You can know my worth isn't determined by my productivity. Wonderful. But doing nothing makes you uncomfortable. There's something else worth exploring. Maybe somewhere along the way you learned that being productive makes me valuable. Maybe you learned being useful keeps me connected with people. Maybe being excellent gets me noticed. Maybe depending on people leads to disappointment, so I need to handle everything myself. Nobody necessarily sat you down and taught you these things. Sometimes beliefs are created through repetition, through experiences, through what gets rewarded, through what gets criticized, through watching adults around us, and eventually an adaptation can begin to feel like an identity. I'm just fiercely independent. Maybe, but what happens when somebody genuinely tries to take care of you? Can you receive it? I'm a perfectionist, okay. But what happens when you make a mistake? Can you tolerate being imperfect without attacking yourself? I am the strong one, beautiful. But can you fall apart in front of somebody you trust? Can you be vulnerable? Sometimes the better question isn't who am I? It is what did I have to become? And perhaps even more importantly, do I still need to be that person? Then there are beliefs that aren't even entirely ours. We inherit them. Study hard, get the degree, find that job, get married, buy the house, have children, earn more. The list goes on. We keep progressing, don't fall behind, and none of these things are wrong. I want to be very clear about that. But did you choose them? Or did you inherit somebody else's definition of a successful life? Because collective beliefs rarely feel like beliefs. They feel like a reality, they feel like tradition, culture. And that's how life works. Be practical, everybody does it. At your age, you should have already achieved this. I find that word very fascinating. Should. I should be earning more by now. I should be married by now. I should have a own house by now. I should have had children by now. I should be further ahead. Okay, we get it. According to whom? Who wrote this timeline? Who decided where we should be? And when did you agree to it? Maybe you're not behind. Maybe you're measuring yourself against a life you never consciously chose. And perhaps that's why some very successful people still feel strangely unsatisfied. It's not necessarily because success is empty. Maybe success was simply given a job it could never do. You asked money to make you feel safer. You asked recognition to make you feel more important. You asked productivity to make you feel worthy. You asked achievement to answer, am I enough? And an achievement can give you a beautiful experience. It can change your circumstances. It can give you freedom. It can open doors, but it cannot permanently resolve a belief you still carry about yourself. That's why subconscious work interests me, not because we need to sit around blaming ourselves for the childhood for everything, and not because ambition needs to be healed. It's because we become curious about the belief underneath the behavior instead of why I can't slow down. Maybe what does slowing down mean to me? Instead of why is nothing ever enough? Ask what am I expecting the next achievement to finally make me feel? That's where the real conversation begins. And once you see the belief, you have something you didn't have before. You have the choice. Maybe the belief helped you once. Maybe it made you successful. Maybe it kept you safe. It got you through a difficult chapter of your life. You don't have to hate that version of yourself, but you can ask, does this belief still belong in my life I'm creating now? Because I don't want to stop achieving. I want to grow. I want to create. I want to know what I am capable of. And there's a difference between I need to achieve this so I can finally feel like somebody and I know who I am. Now let's see what I can create. One is achievement as identity, and the other is achievement as an expression. And maybe that's the shift. So the next time you hear yourself, bus ek aur cheese, the one promotion, one more milestone, one more number. Don't stop wanting it. Just ask yourself, what am I expecting this to make me feel? Because maybe the thing you're chasing isn't really the thing, maybe it's the feeling underneath it. And once you understand that, you will still go after everything you want, just without asking to tell who you are. And I still desire to become more. Not because I need the world to tell me that I matter, not because I have something to prove, but because there is something within me that wants to be expressed. And maybe that's what becoming really is. Not endlessly proving who you are, but finally having the freedom to express who you've always been. I am Namrata Mane, and this is Becoming. I'll see you in the next one.